That was such good animation. That's so adorable. Once I get done my murderous plan of revenge, maybe med school doesn't sound too bad. Is he gonna snap? Woohoo! That's an Uno reverse. Talk about leading on. This fucking hits home for him, right? Bro is basically saying, like, sure, in a perfect world, I'd love to still be friends with her and everything like that. But here's the thing. Even me just being next to her, some paparazzi fuck takes a picture, that goes viral, and a deranged fan says, my precious idol that I was gonna marry, because we know how toxic the idol culture is in Japan. Look at the start of the fucking show. Damn, Aqua. God damn. Woo-hoo! Look at the transition from that. Look at the fucking fear to just the blood. Oh, that's so good. Is this gonna be Ruby's season? The calculated nature of Ruby? That was a freaky shot. Well, Oshinoko's back and better than ever. More dramatic than ever, we could say. And at the end of the day, what's gonna be more dramatic? Ruby and her newfound path of being a sly individual, or our poor boy Aqua's inability to figure out his own feelings? Time will tell. But if you got this far in the video, make sure you drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around, to ring that bell, all that fun jazz, so you can stay up to date on everything I'm uploading. And of course, there's the Patreon, full live reactions and exclusives over there, which does help fund the channel, and videos just like the one you're watching. So, I really like this shot at the end. I like the almost slow burn turned rapid fire when Aqua realizes that his sister is way more calculated than he was giving credit. And then seeing her walk up. This interaction is going to be incredibly interesting next week. But what's interesting is I think a lot of people are going to be like, Aqua loves Kana. There's elements of love. It's still, I still have a hard time reading where our boy actually lies with this whole thing. Because at the end of the day, he's trauma filled, right? Anything surrounding idols and those that he cares about, he's fearful of it, right? Because he knows just how toxic this industry is. And sometimes looking at him and his interactions, there's a very fine line between obsession and love. And I'm not sure which one he falls on. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all collectively know who the OTP actually is. And that's Best Girl Mem. But, you know, we don't live in a good timeline, so of course that's never going to happen. But it is an interesting conversation because she's basically looking at it like, hey, bro, you can't lead a girl on. That's kind of what you did. And he Uno reverses that saying, bitch, do you think I don't realize what's happening? And it's so fascinating to me because Aqua's an interesting individual. Because right now where he's at, he's got a pretty decent life laid out. He's got a career taking off. He's doing shows. He's a well-known stage actor. Like, he's got a lot of potential. Hell, he could even go back to being a doctor if he wanted. But he's so clouded in revenge right now still. And it's the fact that he throws it in her face like, of course I know what's going to happen. But the way he lays into her, which is all the trauma of his mother dying. What happens when someone catches wind of her hanging out with a guy? Even if they weren't dating, right? All it takes is one paparazzi snapping a photo, that goes to a newspaper or posted online, and then we get some terrorist who decides to kill her because she cheated on them. Because that is unfortunately, it's an unfortunate way that everyone knows the type of fans that are obsessed with idol fans. Like, there's, like, it's not to say, like, if you're an idol fan, you're this horrible person. But it's just the unfortunate reality of realizing that if you get too deep into the fandoms of these groups, you are interacting with some of the worst individuals. And those are people who unironically think they need to stay pure. They can't have a boyfriend because they need the fantasy that they can be with them. And as soon as you catch wind of families or any of that, psychopaths will try killing you, stalking you, or just shaking you down. And it's freaky as hell. And to see her just truly like, oh God, maybe I had this wrong. Maybe the obsession is actually mostly on his part, where she obviously has a strong crush, but damn. And this is where, like, depending on which character you ask, they might view Aqua in a different light. For me, it's like, I don't even think Aqua knows his feelings. I think Aqua is trying his best to live a seemingly normal life with someone who he, like currently with Akane, it's a safe path, right? You know, she likes him. He likes her enough. Maybe that ain't love, but he likes her enough. It's a path to teach him how to be normal, seemingly. And it's interesting because there's definitely arguments to be made that Kana is potentially best for him, but honestly, I don't know if this boy is ever gonna be able to figure out his own emotions while revenge is still on the horizon. And maybe that is where Ruby comes into play. Maybe she kind of takes some of that burden off. I don't know. But I will say, I think this was probably the strongest premiere of the show. Now, some people are going to say that's crazy, right? Because season 1, the dramaticness. But there's something about being deep in a show like Oshi no Ko and just seeing them hit it out of the park second by second. Nothing dramatic happening in the way of bloodshed. That's not why I'm hyping this episode up. It's straight up just good character writing. I like seeing everything take off, and I don't know how long it will take to adapt the full Oshi no Ko manga. I assume 4 seasons, because I didn't get the impression walking into season 3 this was the final season. So I imagine it's a 4-season manga overall. So I doubt we're at the point of the shit ending. But here's the thing, and I say this for every goddamn show we watch and we're getting close to the ending. I don't think the anime community is going to hate the ending the same way seemingly the manga readers did. And I think it really does just come down to the fact that anime fans don't really obsess over specific shows in the same way that a reader does, because a reader never leaves that reading habit. It's a weekly or monthly thing. They're always having it in their brain. Anime fans consume so much in 3 to 6 months intervals. So we constantly are consuming more things, and we don't really think things have to go a specific way in order for it to be good, where readers often get into this, it has to be written this way or it's shit. And I could be wrong this time. Maybe this will be the one, but I mean, given the visceral hatred of My Hero Academia online, only for it to be insanely well received, and it just keeps happening, Attack on Titan, etc., etc., I assume anime fans are going to be mostly fine with it. Maybe it'll be midly received, but I don't think we're going to hate it. And hell, if I honestly don't like where it ends up by the end, I'll say it, but I'm not just going to be like, oh, worst mangaka of all time, they just keep ruining. Like, I just think it's such a toxic way, and that's not the type of channel I am. I don't just tear down authors because it makes for easy clicks, you know? It's just, I think it's kind of pathetic behavior at the end of the day. There's ways to criticize without being an obnoxious piece of shit, but sadly that line has pretty much been erased for the past few years, and just, I honestly think some of the worst opinions online are just promoting their opinions as facts rather than an opinion, and it just comes off just very gross, if you ask me. Either way, I think this was a wonderfully produced episode. I think the directing was on point. I love seeing where all the characters are standing. The Aqua loves Kana thing is very intriguing, but most importantly, Ruby was a surprise kind of sucker punch, right? Like, she's making some power plays, and it's interesting how the only one not really fucked in the head right now is Mem, which just goes to show why she may be secretly best girl after all. Your thoughts down below. What do you think of the episode? Where do you want to see it go this season? Do let me know. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around. Of course, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to my patrons, because without them, you won't get these YouTube videos. So today we got Natasha and Henry, Agus TR, Lee Solman, and we also have Chitin Lord, so I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one.